Hi, my name is Sahira, and today I invite you to join me for a slightly less physical and more cerebral side of belly dance. So grab your favorite hot beverage and let's sit and chat a while. Welcome to Belly Dance Conversations. Hello, online belly dance family. It is a cold and rainy day here in Houston, which for me personally is the perfect time to snuggle up with a hot drink and think about the more cerebral and emotional sides of belly dance. I spend a lot of time in the studio dancing and I love it. But sometimes it is really informative and eye-opening to kind of sit and talk about the things that surround our dance, be it our practice, our attitudes towards the dance, the way the dance affects our daily life in both positive and negative ways. And so I invite you to join me for a little bit of a journey while we take a look at the perhaps behind the scenes, behind the dance. So today's conversation was inspired by a phone call that I received the other day. I get a lot of calls for belly dance bookings and belly dance classes, and this one was a little different to say the least. So a gentleman was calling and it sounded like he was interested in booking a belly dancer, but first he wanted to know if I did the belly button dance. Yes, that's what he said, the belly button dance. And I paused because I wasn't exactly sure how to respond, trying to kind of size up whether or not this was a creepy phone call or not. And I decided it was best to just leave well enough alone, and I told him, no, I'm so sorry that I couldn't help him, and I calmly hung up the phone. And then I thought about it for a while, and who knows where he was getting at. Perhaps it was some sort of belly button fetish, or maybe it was a prank call. I don't know. But regardless, it kind of got the wheels in my head turning, not about prank calls or creepy people, but about the name of our dance, belly dance, right? This is one of those hot button issues in the belly dance community. There are many people who don't like to use the term. They feel it's a misnomer or disrespectful for the dance or just not the correct term for it. A lot of people use the term Rakshaki, which is Eastern dance. Some people like to call it Arab dance because it hails from the Arab world. And I'm not here today to talk about any of those topics, right? They're all very valid and definitely things that we should all consider as dancers. But what I started thinking about was why belly, right? Why belly dance? I mean, obviously, for the majority of us, if we're doing Egyptian style or American cabaret or Turkish or whatnot, typically the belly is fairly exposed. Even in the tribal styles, belly is exposed. And there's a lot of action going on in the belly. It's an exciting spot to be, right, for belly dance. But we use all the other parts of our body. We use our arms, we use our hands, we use our legs, we use our shoulders, we use our chest. So why is it that the belly gets all the renown? I'm not exactly sure. And I also think about how this phrase was coined back in the late 1800s. They always say at the Chicago World's Fair when a dancer performed there, and the idea of belly dance, or I believe it may have begun as a French term, and I don't speak French so I cannot pronounce it, but like danse du ventre perhaps, was then translated into belly dance. But calling it belly dance for me is a little bit like calling flamenco like hand dancing or foot dancing with all of the foot stomping that they do, or calling bharatanatyam hand dance or head dance or something, right? Isolating it down to one body part and defining the dance that way. So perhaps I'm diving in a little too deeply, but it really got me thinking, and I'm curious to know how this came to be. And I'm also curious to find out, what is it that makes the dance belly dance in your opinion, right? So this is a discussion. This is not a lecture. I want to know how you feel about this. I know we've all gone to belly dance shows, and one of the things I love about the belly dance community is that we're very open to different interpretations, to fusion, to evolution of the dance. And I believe that all of us have probably gone to a belly dance show at some point and seen a dance put on the stage that is under the belly dance umbrella that is called belly dance, and you start to wonder, what is it that makes this particular performance belly dance, right? When do we lose the essence of what the dance is, and then perhaps it just becomes a modern interpretive dance of some sort? Is the belly required for belly dance to be belly dance or Arab dance or raksharki, right? Is it the undulations? Is it that sinuous movement of the abdominal area that defines the dance? For many of us, it's the hip work, right? We think about the shimmies and the hip drops that make the dance so exciting. For some people, they like to think about the beautiful hand motions that create an essence to this dance. Now, obviously, the dance is even more than the sum of all of its parts. But what I started thinking about and what I'd like to sort of chat with you about today is which part in your mind helps most to define what the dance is, right? So if we look at all the different pieces, all of the different facets of this dance, when it comes to our body, what is it that makes the dance identifiable to you as, oh yes, this is what I like to call belly dance, or this is what I like to call raksharki or Arab dance as it is? So for me, what makes this dance the dance that it is in my heart and in my mind is the feeling and the expression behind the dance. But if I'm gonna stick with the topic of today's conversation and really look at the movement and the body parts, what needs to be present for me to feel like it's a belly dance performance? And I guess my gut reaction would be the hip work. In a lot of ways, I feel like what makes belly dance so delicious and so fun and so expressive in many ways is the hip work, right? Those sinuous mayas or the up and down, the shimmies, right? I think of these as all quintessential belly dance moves. And if I see a belly dance performance that doesn't showcase that sort of flexibility and movement of the hips, I start to think, is this really belly dance? You know, what is this? How would I define this, right? So obviously it's made up of many parts, but I think maybe the hip work might be my favorite. And then of course, the ability to do that hip work in the emotional context of the song, be it an Arab song because you're doing something more traditional, be it a remix because you're doing something more American cabaret, or be it something even more tribal, right? The connection to the music and allowing that music to infuse how the movement is done. Because of course, what we do is completely dependent on our music because our dance is driven by the music. So I think if I had to answer the question for myself, and now I'm going to pose the same question to you, if I had to answer that question myself, I feel like the hip work for me is kind of what draws me in most, right? I'm not saying that that is what defines our dance. I'm not saying that that's what makes it belly dance. But I'm saying that for me, when I am not seeing that element, when that element is missing, a little bit of the feel and the flavor of the dance is missing for me. So now I'd like to pose the same question to you. What part of the body for you helps to define the dance, is your favorite part of the dance, is necessary for you to really hone in and say, ah yes, this is belly dance, I see it, right? So it's an open discussion. There are no right or wrong answers. There are just opinions for you as a dancer or for you as an audience member. What do you look to see when you go to a belly dance performance? Or when you're watching a dancer, what really draws you in? And these sorts of discussions and these sorts of thoughts can really help focus our dance as dancers, right? If we want to become the kind of dancer that intrigues us and excites us as audience members, we have to first sort of be able to define what intrigues and excites us as audience members, right? If I am really drawn to a dancer that has a strong upper body carriage and a beautiful stage presence, can I create that in my dance? If I'm really drawn to someone who has very earthy hip work and gigantic shimmies, can I create that in my dance? So I open that discussion for you. I open that discussion, grab your cup of coffee, get together with your belly dance friends, or give me a call and let me know, what is it body-wise that really gets you going about this dance? I would love to hear from you. So thank you so much for joining me for this belly dance conversation. I want to hear from you. What do you think? To continue the conversation, just post below. I would love to hear what is going on in your head, or you can always contact me directly via email at sahira@sahirabellydances.com. I look forward to dancing or chatting with you soon.